reality that the Hare Krishna mantra is a Shakti Vaishavatar.
Mm-hmm.
Srila Prabhupada said it in so many different times, in so many different ways, but I don't think he wanted at that time people to be kept carried away with that idea. But it is the ultimate reality, because that's what proves that you don't need a guru.
Right.
I mean, Ramachandra, just between you and me.
We're online right now,
What?
so go ahead.
Good, great. So what does a guru offer? If you have a guru, what does he offer in exchange? Well, you go to the guru, you surrender, he takes your karma, he does the Agnihotra sacrifice, he takes on your karma, and what do you get from the guru that does all of that?
Well, I mean, I never took any formal initiation in ISKCON, but I've met many of the gurus. Not many, maybe a handful of gurus. I met Gopal Krishna, I met Bir Krishna, I met Bhakti Vikas Swami, I met Danavir Maharaj, Vaisheshika. I haven't seen anything that they have or they carry with them that is of any value. I mean, they're devotees, experienced in 40, 50 years. But if someone who studies Srila Prabhupada's books for 10 years and then goes to them and tries to understand things, I think they'll be more confused. If they're an actual student, meaning they have some critical mass, they can think independently if they're not brainwashed.
Yeah. But just to say mechanically, A plus B equals C, right?
Yes.
If you're going to drive a car, you get into it, you take off the emergency brake, you put your foot on the gas, you look this way and that, you get into the moving traffic and you drive.
Yes.
And you get to your destination.
Right.
So if you do that same process with an ISKCON guru, what is your destination that he provides that you do not already have in terms of what they're thinking, not what we're thinking?
Actually, I don't know what they're providing. Everything has been provided for because we're reading Prabhupada's books, we're discussing from Prabhupada's books. Everything's coming from Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya, the previous acharyas. So what are they actually? Maybe they're providing some kind of institution where
they're baptizing you in. They're baptizing you into the church of Hare Krishna mantra.
You've been already baptized because you have read it, you have seen it, you're chanting it. So what's the part of being baptized? When
exactly. So if you're a Catholic, you could say, I read the Bible, I accept Jesus, then you can be baptized as a Catholic. No, why? I don't need to be. I've accepted Jesus. Why do I need to be baptized?
Right.
But let's take it into account that this is strictly body consciousness, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They provide some material bodily conception of life where you can feel like you belong to this temple or this guru or this clique or of the Walmart brand of ISKCON.
Going beyond that.
Right.
Do the gurus in ISKCON think they can give liberation or perfection of life to those they initiate?
According to Shastra, only the Uttamadhikari, pure devotee, can give that.
No, of course, we know that.
Yes.
But what I'm asking is, the ISKCON gurus, Vaisheshika, a very nice guy, I consider him a dear friend. But what is Vaisheshika offering to those who take initiation from him, Diksha? What is he giving them that they would not have otherwise? In his opinion, not ours.
Let's think. Let's put ourselves in his shoes. So he has some authority. He's been rubber stamped by the unelected GBC to perform a functionary role of being in the movement for 40 plus years. and then they have stamped him as a so-called guru, Diksha guru. And people like him, like his bodily appearance, what he does.
Sure.
And
but what does he offer? What's the bait? What's the carrot in front of the donkey? What is he saying to the disciple why you should take initiation and why you should take initiation from me? What is he offering as the end result of that initiation?
Okay, now
not from my point of view or yours, from his point of view and from their point of view.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. I'm trying to think what he's offering. It's probably anyone can answer. I'm here. We got Mohit and Rupa Manjari also, so I'm not sure why only we are doing the talking, but you people can also answer. This is an interactive process.
Haribol, I'm a bit slick today, so
Okay,
you guys
just
can
listen
continue.
then. Just listen and okay. So what is he offering? Maybe he's offering some kind of connection to the Sampradaya, but you already have that in the form of Prabhupada's books.
Well, that's where the problem comes in. And that's where I think that, you and I are so much clear on that Prabhupada's books are the continuation of the Sampradaya. In other words, some years ago, I used to say, well, what would a guru do? Open temples? It's been done. Publish books? They're published. Chant the Maha Mantra around the globe? That's been done. So what is there that the guru can do to continue the Sampradaya? And what would the continuing the Sampradaya consist of? They can't get close to that question.
So continuing of the Sampradaya would mean the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is going on by either you, me, or one soul in the world. And another way the Sampradaya continues is by the publishing of the original books of Srila Prabhupada. Two ways.
Yeah, which raises a question. What on earth is the justification for changing Prabhupada's books?
Right.
I mean, what is their justification? That Prabhupada didn't know what he was doing? Why? Prabhupada's not said clearly, don't change the books.
Okay. Yeah, that's a side point. So let's bring it to the point again. What is these?
Well, the point is, like you have Chidananda.
Yes.
And he surrendered to Bhagavan.
Right.
I think he was a Catholic previously. And he said he surrendered, although he's Chinese, and he surrendered to Bhagavan. And after surrendering to Bhagavan, rendering valuable service, doing wonderful things, helping out in the temple, helping out in the movement, helping out in whatever Bhagavan wanted to see done, he said, how do I go back to Godhead? He asked Bhagavan that. What is the means by which I will go back to Godhead? And Bhagavan sat there and very grandly gestured like that, said, I will take you back to Godhead. But then a few years later, Bhagavan can't even take himself back to Godhead. Right? He bloops. He left the movement. So this raises another issue, another question, but I don't want to let go of the one you were talking about. I want to stay with it. But the question is, what happens to the karma that the guru accepts? Is that why Bhagavan fell down? Because he couldn't handle taking on any more karma from people? I know there's one devotee named Rohini Kumar. He was the nicest devotee, but he started taking out all this karma from gay people that he initiated. Presumably they didn't continue to be gay, but that was their psychology. And he fell down.
I see.
Why? Because how could he take on that much karma of people that had done really sinful stuff?
Right.
So now, let's get back to you, Ramachandra. You see where I'm trying to go?
Yes.
Chidananda wanted to go back to Godhead, and the guy that initiated him, Bhagavan, said, I will take you back to Godhead. So the question is, Bhagavan seemed to conclude, and I'm sure it was true or he wouldn't have left the movement, that he took on the karma. Yeah. So what happens to the karma when you take it on? And I pointed out before, if you get married, you take on the karma of your wife. That's why it's important to marry a good wife.
Right. Right.
Then you take on the karma of the children that you have together.
Hmm.
Why? Because of the consciousness of when they were conceived.
Right.
Where did they come from? From hell, from heaven, from Krishna Loka? Where did they come from?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So anyhow, I'll leave that for now, but can you pursue that and let me know the answer to that question?
Pursue which line? You're saying Bhagavan initiate Chidananda Prabhu and then he went away. So where does the karma of Chidananda Prabhu go? Is that the question?
That's one of the questions, because when a person takes initiation from a guru, I didn't mean to throw you off from your original line of thought. I'm hoping you'll return to it.
No, okay. So the point was, what does the initiators in ISKCON, for example, Vaisheshika, offer that has not been already given by Srila Prabhupada's books and the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra? Is that
and the Hare Krishna mantra being something that they don't talk about it being, which is
Shaktavesh? Yes.
Shaktavesh avatar, meaning you want Krishna, there he is.
Right.
That's Krishna. There they are.
So that
Radha and Krishna.
if you actually say that, then what is the need for any middleman trying to hold your hand?
Well, I said, well, Prabhupada was a middleman. They will argue that.
No, that's fine. Prabhupada was not a middleman. At that time, Krishna consciousness was not prominent anywhere in the world. So actually, he was the messenger of God. So you are a middleman.
Direct messenger of the holy name emanating from the mouth of Lord Chaitanya.
Yes. So now he has done that already. So what are you doing? That's
the question which we want to know, have an answer for from them.
Right.
What are you offering? You're taking on a guy's karma. If you can't handle it anymore, then you blew.
Exactly. Yes. Or you're already blew.
Well, yeah. And like Satru, well, anyhow, keep going. I liked what you were doing. I didn't mean to. I just keep wanting to know the answer to the question, what does the disciple get that he doesn't already have the first time he heard the Mahamantra chanted or uttered?
Yeah, this is the thing, we should ask these disciples of the conditioned soul gurus, non-uttam adhikari gurus, what are they getting that they had, I've never asked this question to them. So I think my next thing is to ask these devotees, what are you actually getting? Is it an institution you're getting? You're getting some, your karma burned up, or, what happens if the guy falls down? Was your karma really burned up? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Technical.
And if he gives you Diksha, is he capable of transferring your karma all the way to Krishna, or does he just take it on and only some of your karma gets transferred and the rest of it gets stuck in him? So what happens when he dies and then you die?
Right, exactly.
You see, it shouldn't have to be up to us to figure that out. You see, they should all have figured that out by 1980.
Yeah, right. What do you mean figured out by 1980? Figured out what?
Well, they should have figured out, if we take on people's karma, how will we get rid of it? How will we transfer the karma? They said, well, you have to be a pure devotee to transfer the karma. Okay, then at 1982, 83, gurus are falling down. Okay,
Right.
what happens to the karma of the guru that the guru took on? Now he's fallen down. And another side footnote question, did he fall down because he took on karma? Supposing you take on the karma of a guy that's incredibly lusty.
Right.
So you take on his lust karma. Do you have the power to dissolve that and purify it in your own nature? Or is that going to get stuck in you and become part of your psychology, which is to develop excessive lust? Even though you're a guru, you take on the karma of the lusty guy. He feels a certain degree of relief, but what happens to you having taken it on? Does it make you lusty?
Well, you used the example of Rohini Kumar. He went away because you said he initiated too much gay people, and then he died in a hippie commune or something like that, or gay commune, something
You
like
see,
that.
he died?
I'm not sure. Did he?
I'm not aware of it, but
Okay, I'm not sure, but I guess
it's really funny because I knew him from when he was 18 years old in New York City when I went there in 19 well, what year? I went there in 1968, and it became 1969 while I was there. And he was 18 years old, very strange, very psychic sort of guy, had epilepsy. He would cook rice. He would cook sweet rice for 8 hours without stopping. He would take like a small cup of rice and put it into a pot of 4 gallons of milk. And he'd keep on stirring it and stirring it and stirring it over the heat until the rice completely coagulated into the milk. And that became the best sweet rice you have ever tasted in your life. But then he warned me, he says, I have epilepsy. So if I have a seizure, would you mind putting me in the closet over there while I'm thrashing around? And would you stir until I get out of my epileptic seizure? And I did that more than once. But that was 18 years old. Then I met him all over the world in different parts of Mexico. It's one of these people, Keshava and he, I met in different parts of the world, surprisingly.
okay.
I met him here, I met him there. And he was always this very austere brahmachari. But when he became a guru, he was a very beloved guru because he was so nice and he was so tolerant. And he took on people that nobody else wanted to initiate. And he started initiating all these gay guys. And I began to see his whole psyche becoming gay. I would sit with him and talk with him, and he'd be on the computer and he'd start talking. Instead of being the sort of effeminate, asexual person, he began talking as though that he had homosexual attraction for the persons he was initiating. So he went from innocently, what would you call it, androgynously, to being gay without desiring to do so. And then when he fell down, he joined a gay commune, as you said. It's sort of like that YMCA, YMCA. It's sort of like a very outwardly gay group of people with gay tattoos and gay mentality. Right. And he became one of them, got tattooed also.
Wow. I think I was hearing the discussion with Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada answers that question of the question that you asked. Him initiating many gay people, what happened? So Prabhupada comments in one of the philosophical discussions with this person here in the title, the conscience, what is this? What does it mean? Let me look it up.
Conscience.
Conscience means what? Person's moral, right?
Conscience means that you have a moral background. And so your conscience, if you are tempted to do something wrong, your conscience says, no, don't do that. That's your inner, well, it's Paramatma, really.
Yeah, it's saying conscience.
Don't do the bad thing. Do the
Right.
good thing, you know.
It's saying the dictionary definition, a person's moral sense of right and wrong. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so Prabhupada comments, the conscience is prepared. If you go on drinking, then your conscience will say it is good. And if you go on chanting your conscience, quote, this is good. The conscience is prepared according to association. There is no standard consciousness, conscientiousness.
Which is an interesting thing, because he's taking conscience. I never saw them as related, conscientiousness.
Yeah, so
that's an interesting point, because your conscience is relative to what you consider to be good or bad or right or wrong.
Yes. So Rohini Kumar, being associated with these people, your conscience is prepared according to your association. So him doing that, what happened? Even though before he was not an initiating guru, he was on the right track, but by association with these people through karma and
but he took on their karma.
Yeah.
Like if you get married and you take on the karma of your wife, your mind is partly converted to her way of thinking, as opposed to being the way it was, or if you had married somebody else.
Right. Yeah, that
depends. And I think you made an extremely good point. The conscience is I never saw conscience as being relative. I saw conscience as more as being an expression of Paramatma. But that's the same thing in a sense, because Paramatma will enable you to have a conscience to drink alcohol, or a conscience to abstain from alcohol and chant Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Paramatma will let you do what you want.
Right.
For the simple reason that you're part and parcel of Krishna, and you're entitled to do whatever you want.
Right.
Include giving up the whole pile of garbage up and surrender to Krishna. You can do that if you want. You don't have to do sinful things. You don't have to do pious things. You don't have to do good things or bad things or in between things. You don't have to be vegetarian, vegan, meat eater. You don't have to be any of those things. You can surrender to Krishna with the same willpower that you're using to exercise your conscience, that I will eat lamb, but I won't eat beef or something like that, Well, anyhow, keep going. I like which way you're going. It's very good. The biggest difficulty, reason I'm bringing this up, you know the answers, I know the answers in a sense, but in another sense, we're still blocked because we still see this guru sampradaya continuing through the minds or the conscience of the GBC.
Right. Yes. How will it continue if it was not for us? Or how will it continue if there was, no 85 initiating gurus? Right.
That's interesting because, there's plenty of religions where they don't have a religious leader.
Right.
They just have the scriptures that the religious leader left behind.
Yeah, just like we visited when you guys were in Sacramento, that Sikh temples, right? They have the book. We went there, remember?
Grantha.
Yeah, the Grantha. Yes. Yeah, so you were going to make a point, Narayan. Please continue about the so-called gurus not there.
Okay, so I'm trying to establish, they think there's Prabhupada, there's Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gorkha Babaji, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada, and who after him? Who becomes the Acharya after Prabhupada? If you're a material person, if you're a materialist, that is a very good question. Why? Because if they had a lineage, why would that lineage stop? If they were human beings. But what if they were just messengers? What if they were messengers? And supposing the message is complete with Srila Prabhupada.
Right.
After all, Srila Prabhupada brought the holy name and delivered the holy name from his spiritual master. And this was all conducted from Lord Chaitanya, not that long ago, a few hundred years ago. So it's not very many people between Balaram in the form of Lord Nityananda and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So you have that very short, immediate thing, and you have the Thakur Bhaktivinoda, who was trying to ended up actually succeeding to a large degree in sorting out the bowels of Bengal, their
Their deviations and their sahaja tendencies.
That was ended up with Ramakrishna.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada said, because of Ramakrishna, Bengal has come to hell.
Right, right. So yeah, these are very important questions, and people should think about, and then understand.
Yeah, well, people have to understand that we may be in the whole long sampradaya. If you get a Bhagavad Gita, I actually have one right here. I've got one in storage.
I can project it to the screen, yes.
Bhagavad Gita as it is. Let's see. I'll look at the sampradaya.
Introduction, yeah. Okay, yeah, there's a long sampradaya starting from Lord Krishna all the way to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, the Disciplic succession. Prabhupada has over 33 members, 33 acharyas, and we have to remember these are prominent acharyas. There's tons of smaller ones in between.
I'm seeing 32.
What?
I'm seeing 32 acharyas.
Well, he has 33.
Who's
including him, starting with Lord Krishna.
Okay.
Lord Krishna. Wait a second, what's going on here? Why did Lord Krishna? I wonder if this is a bona fide list.
Yeah, it's saying Krishna.
I check to my Gita to make sure that it's.
It's Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhva. Okay, it goes.
Doesn't Balaram fit in there?
The Balaram is not there.
But he is the head of the Sampradaya.
Yes, so that is talked about more intimately in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita.
I'm sorry.
I think it's Balaram being the first guru from Krishna is talked about probably in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita. I know it's talked about in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, but I'm not sure if it's mentioned in the Gita or the Bhagavatam. Maybe it's there in the Bhagavatam, but I've not read the complete Bhagavatam, but I can search it.
Okay, but this one, he starts Lord Krishna, Brahma, Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, Madhavacharya, Padmanabha Tirtha, Narahari Tirtha, Madhavacharya, another Madhavacharya,
Akshobhya
Tirtha, Jaya Tirtha, a bunch of them. So that we keep going down the list. Purushottam Brahmanya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmipati, Madhavendra Puri,
yes.
Ishvarapura. Then Nityananda,
They're together.
the Dvaitacharya,
Yeah.
are the 21st Acharya. That's very strange because they're all individuals. And Nityananda is Balaram.
Right.
And then there's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after Nityananda and after Advaitacharya. Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and a bunch of more. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami are all as number 24. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur, Visvanath Chakravarti, Baladeva Vidyabhushana, Sarvabhauma Jagannath, Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarvabhauma, Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah. So some lines, they have a couple of acharyas, like 21 has Ishwara Puri, Nityananda Advaita, and line 23 has Rupa Goswami, Sarup Damodar, and Sanatan Goswami. And 28 has Baladev Vidyabhushana and Jagannath Das Babaji. So, yes.
Number 28 does?
Yes, number 28.
In my book, it doesn't. Just Baladev Vidyabhushana.
Okay. On the BBT archives, it's saying Baladev Vidyabhushana and then Jagannath Das Babaji, the guru of Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, so...
the main thing that I was aware that Jagannath Das Babaji did was he found and confirmed the birth site of Lord Chaitanya.
Yes, yes.
But anyhow, we can see from Lord Chaitanya to Prabhupada is a very small chunk of the Sampradaya.
Yeah, right.
And there's more people in it that are mentioned before, because the ones that are mentioned before are not, the ones that are mentioned before, there's many gaps that are not mentioned, that are not filled. Whereas from Lord Chaitanya onward, it's no gaps. So anyhow, I have, can you see this here?
Let me see. Yeah, Bao, what is it, Bao? I can't see it. Yeah. Bao Sangeet. Songs of Madhva, something.
Madman.
Songs of Madmen, okay.
That's Thakur Bhakti Songs of the Madmen. Now, the whole thing is, they were trying to be madmen in the mood of Lord Chaitanya completely offensively.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's some of that is might be going on in ISKCON also.
Well, yes. But what I'm trying to point out is that the purpose of Bhakti Vinod was to sweep house, to clean up the situation, to get ready for Bhaktisiddhanta and Prabhupada.
Try, yes. Yeah.
Not neglecting Gorkishore Das Babaji to introduce the breed of contrarianism into the Sampradaya as it had never been present before.
Right, right. Cleaning house, right. Yeah, Bhakti Vinod Thakur did do that. He rebuked these bogus Sampradayas and he wrote books to fight or to make them, for people to understand that they're not bona fide. Right.
So he has this book called The Songs of the Madmen. He wrote it to destroy the madmen, namely the Bauls. I was briefly associated with someone who was basically a follower of Ramakrishna before I became initiated by Prabhupada, and he had Bauls, and they're Sahajiyas, essentially.
Right. Unbona fide pretender devotees or pretender successors, whatever you want to call them.
Exactly. Now, what happened is when Thakur Bhakti Vinod wrote this,
Hare Krishna. Okay.
okay.
We got some nice comments that I'll read in a few minutes. So.
Could I mention something on the word Baal? Because this Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the turning point that made our movement possible.
Yes, please. Yeah, it's
Okay. He writes, and I'm not totally familiar with this booklet, I just came across it from storage, but the word Baul is seen often in the text of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, referring to a personality afflicted with transcendental madness. So you see the Bauls that followed with Ramakrishna were sahajas, pretending madness.
Can you read the definition again, Prabhu? It's very
The
interesting.
word Baul is seen often in the text of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, referring to a personality afflicted with transcendental madness.
Wow.
Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu even admits in Antya-lila 19th chapter 9th verse that he has indeed become a Baul. A few verses later, in chapter 19, verse 20 to 21, the most famous appearance of the word Baul occurs in the following enigmatic riddle sent from Sri Advaita Acharya in Bengal to the increasingly ecstatic and delirious Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri.
Wow. So
that madness, go ahead, say.
No, go ahead, finish that, then I'll make the point, Narayan Prabhu.
Okay. The Lord Chaitanya went more and more mad, and that's where this whole madness that infected Bengal, the Bengalis, negatively, to become sahajas, to pretend to be in ecstasy. So here is the verse. Baulake kahio, loko hoilo baul, bauloke kahiho, hate na bikya ko. Balukahe kaiho kaye nahiko du. Bahuke kohiyo ta kohi yache bao. And it translates, tell the madman, presumably Lord Chaitanya, tell the madman that all the people have now become mad like him. Tell the madman that rice is no longer available in the marketplace. Tell the madman that those who are mad in ecstatic love no longer do business. Tell the madman that another madman has spoken these words.
So this is pretty clear that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was exhibiting his transcendental symptoms, it was purely spiritual and from the spiritual world.
Transcendental madness.
Yeah.
He couldn't draw, he would just be in trance. He was just ecstasy. That's the League for 10K. That's our message. That's our mission. To become bowels, to become like that. Ecstatically chanting, not sitting on red chairs. Imitation red chairs. So let me read a little bit more here. I could pass the Bengali, if you don't mind, and read what Thakur Bhakti Vinod writes.
Yes, please.
He's taken this Baul Sangeet and he's detoxified it.
Yes. So can you reference it? What chapter and verses so the audience can see?
This is verse 1. It's not a very big book. This is verse 1.
Okay.
And he's detoxifying the score. That's why I wanted to get a hold of this, because I wanted to be able to demonstrate that Thakur Bhakti Vinod's job was healing the Sampradaya away from the madness of the bowels had become. Just now we're mad so we can do any damn thing.
Right.
To being, what is the real bowel mood? And here he describes, and it's not insane. He writes, I am your ever well-wisher. I become sad when you are sad. I become happy when you are happy. This I sincerely proclaim to you, dear brothers. Having gone shopping at Lord Nityananda's marketplace, O brothers, I brought back the holy names of the Lord just for your benefit. See, being marked with the symbol of Lord Gaurachandra, meaning Tilak, this Harinam is succulent with divine mellows. If you would please take the holy name and almost fill your mouths with it, then you shall realize that the name fully contains the Lord who is named. See, this is what the Shaktivesh Avatar commands us to do. Exactly this. Not form groups and clubs and religions and stuff. This is not religious. This is anti-religious. By chanting the holy name, all your sinful reactions and material miseries will be cast far away. Thus, world will become full of wonderful meaning for you. There will be no more fear, and you will be immersed in the ocean of pure joy. I myself am now quite wretched and indeed destitute, for by arranging to bring the Lord's holy name here, I have fallen into great debt. Seeing me as a soul stricken by extreme poverty, please hand over to me the price of your faith. Taking your payment, O brothers, I will pass it along to the Mahajan, the proprietor, Lord Nityananda. Whatever small commission I may earn by conducting this transaction will be kept in my own storeroom. Living on the island of Gadram in the district of Nadia, this person named Chand Bowel shouts and proclaims, other than the holy name of the Lord, all else in this world is simply false, like the illusions of a shadow theater. Okay, do you get the point here? I would say that people took those same verses, and I don't know how to translate them. They took the same verses and made it mean sahaja. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda has turned it around and made it pure bhakti.
Jai.
Could I read one more? And then we'll finish with that. He writes, oh, my dear brothers, just pass your lives to adhering the proper faith path of religiosity. Constantly chant Harinam, oh brothers, for other than Lord Hari, you have no friend. Accepting whatever accepting whatever livelihood that suits you, just live your life honestly. Fill your mouths with the constant chanting of Hari, Hari. This is the only alms I beg of you. Remain absorbed in the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga. Renounce all other ambitions and worship Prajandrananda. If you do this much, then I will experience great pleasure. I am Chand Baal Das, meaning Thakur Bhaktivinoda. I am Chand Baal Das, and I wish only to receive your mercy. I have informed you of my desires, for I sing as I have been personally ordered by Lord Nityananda.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
So you see, this madness that Lord that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was by no means by nature a madman.
Right.
Ramachandra, are you there? Yeah.
Yes. Bhaktivinoda Thakur by nature was not a madman. Right.
But because Bengal was filled with these followers of Nityananda that were sahaja fake guys who are going here and there and begging and living immoral lives while chanting Hare Krishna, saying, I'm a madman, I can do anything I like, I can have sex where I want, and all that stuff. He came in and sorted that out with that book. Okay. Anyhow, that's all I want to say. And I would like to say that those statements by Bhaktivinoda Thakur are exactly the outcome that Lord Chaitanya has predicted and desired for the golden age of Kali. Not religious structures. Yes, we have to have for the kinesthetic arts. We put them there. we put them there just like we keep chickens in a cage so they don't get eaten by the foxes. But that doesn't mean that you need gurus sprouting out of those neophytes.
Yeah,
So
I made a
back to you.
Okay, so yeah, that's a very good Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu having these ecstatic feelings, and these sahajas, they took on that mood and spoiled it and cheated people.
Yeah, by imitation, not by. They did not enter into the mood; they imitated it,
Right. Yeah.
and they made money off of it.
Can we say that's what the ISKCON initiators are doing to some degree also?
Well, they're doing. I think. Do you think that's what they're doing?
Well, they're
definitely
getting
not
money.
pretending- They're not. Well, that's different. They're not pretending to be bowels. They're not pretending to be in ecstasy. I wish they were. Supposing the ISKCON gurus read this book, Bhava Sangeet, Songs of the Madman, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Supposing they read it, and then they went out in the streets chanting and screaming and unconsolably weeping for Krishna. That would be a big improvement over being mere shopkeepers.
They're sitting on red chairs, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I have to bear the karma for every ass that sits on a red chair that thinks he's a guru after Prabhupada. I have to bear the karma of his sitting there because it is I who created the red chair.
Okay, so we have some nice comments from our devotee friends on YouTube. So I'd like to project it on the screen.
Excellent.
So where are they? Prabhu's right here.
Hare Krishna.
Mahaprabhu in the house.
That sounds like Mahaprabhu.
Hare
Mahaprabhu,
Krishna.
Mahaprabhu.
Are
Hare
you
Bol.
ready to become a madman?
I'm ready. It's
We
about
would
time.
suit you. You need to get this book.
Hare Bol.
Mahaprabhu, you're at home?
Yes, I'm at my father's house.
All right, so maybe you can read the comments here. Can you, Prabhu?
Oh,
Can you see it?
let's see. Oh, let me see if I can see it. Yes. Aristophanes must be the individual.
Yes.
In his mind, he offers eternal resources that he believes is tantamount to sustaining ISKCON, irrespective of his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Srila Prabhupada, spiritual instructor, and books. What does that mean? In his mind, he offers external resources that he believes is tantamount, very important, to sustaining ISKCON, irrespective of his divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta,
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada, spiritual instructor, and books.
So what is he saying? Maybe he was making a point in one of the discussions we were having, or maybe he can type below what his meaning to the point.
Who has written this?
Aristo,
Who's that?
that's one of the devotees.
Oh, I see. This is someone asking a question or making a comment.
Yes, online.
Right. Irrespective of his divine grace, he offers external resources that he believes is tantamount to sustaining ISKCON.
So can you translate that? What is he talking about?
He can comment on the bottom. So let's give him a chance to comment. So let's read his next comment, Mahaprabhu, this one.
Yes, he's saying that the greed is nearly an incurable disease. Greed is an incurable disease that manifests itself in many ways. Greed could be money, could be power, and control materialism. It must be treated with a strong antidote, which is chanting of Hare Krishna. So
That's
if we
amazing.
chant,
That's very much what was said by Thakur Bhakti in the Baal Sangeet.
Right.
he's also saying that they are getting recognition or fulfillment of a false void that is
Inculcated.
inculcated by these so-called gurus. This contravenes Srila Prabhupada's divine teachings that transcends the material world.
This person is writing like this. He's very, very excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. And then we go on to say, Hare Krishna, great insights. Is today the day he became samadhi? Which I don't know which means. What does samadhi mean?
He dies.
And he says, yes.
Oh. This is Prabhupada's disappearance day today.
Yeah, today is.
So
today
this is the day Prabhupada, I don't think he entered samadhi today, but this is the day he left operating from his physical body.
Yes.
And Aristophanes continues by saying, being taken over by physical pleasure is the basis for suffering. It is sexual, food,
sexual,
alcohol, drugs, tobacco, material wealth, etc. These things we are being taken over by physical pleasure.
Instead of the madness of the bowel.
Sexual, food, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, material wealth is the basis for suffering. Hare Krishna, he says.
Well, it's not the basis for suffering. It's being too heavily identified with it and thinking that is the ultimate thing. That is
attachment to it.
Yeah, great attachment to it. Yes.
That's all body and mind, is it not?
Well, it's the mind contaminated by identifying with the body.
The Jiva,
when the mind identifies with the body, it's going to want things for the body because the mind is is like a female, like a wife. The mind is very conducive to helping whoever the mind identifies with. So if the mind identifies with the Jiva, who you are, then the mind becomes a powerful weapon for preaching. If the mind identifies with the body, then the mind seduces the soul into giving up on the sense of being the self. It lets the body be the self.
Is it correct to say that the Jiva has nothing to do with sexual, food, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, and material wealth?
Only by association.
She's entitled to all of that.
Yeah.
The Jiva.
Mark, where did the Haagen-Dazs go?
In the other refrigerator.
In the back?
Yes, leave me alone, please. I'm in the middle of a Zoom.
To your dad?
My sister.
No,
your sister? I thought she went to the East Coast.
That's my wife in a couple months.
Okay, to your sister, tell her I say to her, Hare Krishna, and welcome to the conversation.
Hare Krishna and welcome to the conversation, Ricardo. All right, that's all it took.
Okay, Mahaprabhu, ask a question again, Mahaprabhu. You asked a very important question.
The question that I asked was, does the Jiva, the spirit, not want to be part of any of the tobacco, the sexual, the materialistic world? It doesn't want any part of that. That's all body and mind, correct?
But he goes along with it if he identifies with the body. Take into account, everyone, including ourselves, tends to identify with the body. That means the Jiva thinks that instead of spirit soul, he is the body. And he's conducted there by the mind.
Yeah, but the Jiva is much more powerful to think that it's the mind or the body.
He may be powerful, but he's given up his cojones for, he's given up his power, just like Samson lost his power when his hair was cut off.
How can the jiva give up its power?
Because the jiva wants to enjoy, and the only way he can be the enjoyer is to have a body and to enjoy through the body with the body as the means of enjoyment.
That's almost like saying that the body and the mind influence the jiva.
They do. They seduce the jiva.
Oh boy. Then
Why on earth would a jiva agree to identifying with a body if he wasn't seduced?
Says I can't have any because it's after 8 o'clock. Come on.
okay. Can you repeat that, please?
Why would a jiva agree to identify with a material body that was born and will die, made of pus, blood, stool, and urine? Why would he identify with such a body if he were not seduced?
The jiva
Wouldn't it
can
be-
only the
It
jiva can
sounds
only
stupid, doesn't it?
the jiva can only operate through a body.
No, the jiva can operate as a jiva, but to do so, he has to be able to no longer identify with his body. Some bodies are harder to not identify with than others. For instance, if you're a maggot, how are you going to not identify with maggot life? But a human being can make that distinction, right?
9:03. Where are you? Right?
Hey Rick, I'm right in the middle of a Zoom call.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm
you were
sorry.
On the
Yeah,
Ask her
I'm
to
on-
join us. Is that your sister? Mahaprabhu?
I'm sorry about the interruption. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Was that your
All
daughter
right.
or your sister?
That's my sister.
Your sister. Well, tell her she's welcome to take part in the conversation.
She's a little bit shy. She's not sure about it. But
Oh,
anyway,
she doesn't sound that shy.
Go ahead, Mahaprabhu. It's your questions. We are discussing and analyzing your questions and coming to a answer or a realization.
as far as I have learned, the jiva is much more powerful than the body and the mind. Is that correct to say?
The jiva is spiritual and it has a spiritual mind and sensors. But when you identify with the material objects that's thinking that I'm this body, then you get cheated. It's like you get covered.
The jiva can be cheated by the body.
No, when you identify, the mind identifies with the body. You're not getting cheated, you're just getting covered up.
Seduced.
Okay.
Seduced, illusion.
It's up to us who we identify with.
Provided
The jiva didn't leave Krishna Loka to be a jiva. If he wanted to be a jiva, he would have stayed in Krishna Loka, right? He had a rasa with Krishna. He had a boy form. He was a cowherd boy or a tree. He was something in Krishna Loka. Why did he come to the material world along with countless others? I mean, even your own body, there's countless other jivas, like germs and parasites and whatnot.
It came into the
What?
physical body to, in a sense, to spread the word for lack
not
of.
really. He came to the material body so that he could become a tiny and rather embarrassingly insufficient substitute for God. he wanted to control something. The only thing he can be the controller of is illusion. What is illusion? The material world, the material body. And what is the vehicle of illusion? The mind. So if the person takes a body, the mind tells the jiva what needs to be done for that body to be identifiable. In other words, if you want to become a dog, well, now you have a dog body. Now let me, says the mind, guide you under the empowerment of Lord Paramatma. Let me guide you how to experience being a dog, since that is apparently what you wanted.
So what is the purpose of the jiva here on earth? Through the body.
To suffer.
The jiva needs to suffer.
Well, isn't the jiva suffering?
Through the body and the mind.
Well, of course. But the body is what the jiva wanted. Why would the jiva leave Krishna Loka if he didn't want a body in the material world? See, this is a lot different in understanding, not necessarily in context, but it's a lot different than the book of Genesis and stuff like that in the Bible. Go thou in the sweat of thy brow shalt thou eat bread, sort of thing. That's very poetically, but totally insufficient understanding. It doesn't have anything much to do with understanding how the soul falls from the spiritual sky or how the soul can return to the spiritual sky.
How does the jiva, the mind, and the body connect in the first place?
Oh, the jiva comes into the material world to take a material body.
For what
as soon
purpose?
As the jiva takes a material body, remember Mahaprabhuji, what is the material body made of? Do you recall?
Teach me.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego.
Yeah.
Ego means I'm not just a ordinary king. I am the king. That's the ego. You distinguish your identity, material body, identity of your material body by the culmination of your karma. So if you have the karma to be a very powerful king, then when you are on the platform of ego, you say, I am a very powerful king. Okay.
And the jiva will believe that?
The jiva wanted it. That's why he came here. How many people do you know that would rather not be the body that they're in?
Many.
No.
Do you know any?
No, he said many. I said no. I don't think that's the right answer. Everyone thinks that they're this body, more or less.
Yeah.
So
if they don't want to be their body, the next question is, what are they going to do about it?
They don't know what to do about it.
They commit suicide. It's a big problem these days.
That is a joke. Do you know what happens to a person who commits suicide?
What?
They become a ghost.
Uh-huh.
They have to go on and on and on without a body, without a physical body. They can see people that have physical bodies. They wish they could scratch their itches. They wish that they could eat. They wish that they could have sex. They wish they could do everything that the people they see wandering around doing. And if they come into your house and haunt you in your house, they can walk into your bedroom while you're having sex. And they say, why not me? Because they became a ghost. They lost the physical body by which they could fulfill their sexual desire, or their desire to eat, or their desire to drink water, or their desire to even take a bath. They can't do anything except stay in that increasingly contaminated psychological, mental mind. They have no choice.
Okay, so our devotees online, if they have any questions, they can post comments. We're going to go back to the comments in a few minutes.
Okay,
So
now with that comment, did we answer the question? Was there a question and did we answer it? Or he was basically making an extremely intelligent comment?
Yes, he's been reading and listening to Prabhupada's books and then watching our iṣṭa-goṣṭhī meeting
But you might
discussion.
say that from Nara Narayan over here, the bowel in the corner here, that he wrote, his writing is brilliant, in that we would welcome him coming on to the League for 10K Zoom call to share his erudite, intelligent, well-conceived, and extremely well-expressed views.
Hi.
Hare Krishna.
Mahaprabhu, you ready to read a little bit more?
Yeah, bring it on.
All right. Okay.
Is this the same person?
Yes,
Is he listening right now?
most likely, yes.
Tell him, brilliant.
Okay, so Mahaprabhu here.
Bhakta Singh,
Yes.
Aristophanes. Being taken over by physical pleasure is the basis for suffering. It is sexual, food, alcohol, drugs, tobacco, material wealth, etc. And then he says, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, KJJ,
Yes.
Ki Jai.
Ki Jai. We will
Ki
be
Jai, Hari
reading
Bol.
irresponsible, Hari Bol, which guarantees the destruction of humanity. HIV, like COVID, is designed to bring destruction and proscribed in Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna. His samadhi is in ISKCON Vrindavan.
Yes.
Krishna Balarama Mandir established by HDG Srila
Divine grace.
Prabhupada.
Srila
His
Prabhupada.
divine grace. Sense gratification devolves the spirit being into an animal state. Srila Prabhupada warned of this disease of being into an animal state.
Yeah, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is the state
Thus,
Yeah,
we
eating,
devotees,
sleeping, mating, and defending does not require a human body. You can have a rat body, a dog body, an elephant body, a tiger body, and eat, mate, sleep, and defend is fully present. That's why the human being has to see beyond that. And if he cannot see beyond that, he will become an animal. For no other
Thus-
reason that that's all he's interested in doing is being an animal.
thus, we devotees are obligated to promote Krishna consciousness via book distribution and chanting Hare Krishna, along with practicing the tenets of ISKCON as Srila Prabhupada blessed us with. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
And let me only mention at that time that the tenets of ISKCON are the Kanistha Adhikari platform. If you have noticed, you will not find anyone in an ISKCON, member of ISKCON, who is not basically still identifying with his body. He's chanting, he's thinking outside of his body, he's trying to have a mystical experience, but basically, when it gets down to it, if you say, what's your name? He'll say, that's my name. He won't say, what do you mean? As a jiva or as a body? No, he doesn't. So in ISKCON, that is a place to protect people. Anyone in ISKCON is already liberated as long as they follow all the principles of ISKCON, all of them, except taking initiation from an ISKCON guru, of course. Go ahead.
Aristophanes also states that unlike religions, which there are many, ISKCON in its pure form is the absolute manifestation of God consciousness mind, body and spirit.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The relentless pursuit of sense gratification is a symptom of a sick spirit being. Let me repeat that. The relentless pursuit of sense gratification is a symptom of a sick spirit being.
Yeah.
Krishna consciousness is the only way to heal this pathology. Gurukulas farms must be built. I am at your service. Thank you for sharing your insight and wisdom into Krishna consciousness. The false guru from GBC. Aristophanes, Prabhu, your comments are wonderful. We all need cure from dangerous virus of chasing happiness in material pleasure.
Aristo says.
He says, yes, regarding the GBC conversation, why the false guru perpetuating a false narrative, I believe.
Yes.
Scratched to justify continued control and usurpation of ill-gotten funds. I guess the money's not going where it's supposed to go.
Yes.
The end is not enlightenment, but the degradation of spirit into a lesser state than Krishna has provided for us as devotees. Hare Krishna. On his taking the Bharatatis Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men render service unto me: the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. Bhagavad Gita 7.6. On the way to Krishna, page 59, Hare Krishna, what do you think of religion? Since Krishna isn't consciousness, Krishna consciousness is not a religion. So what do you think of religion? Thank you, masters. Hare Krishna. Yes, I am here. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Beautiful insight.
All right, Rishto Prabhu and devotees watching online, if you want to participate in the live discussion, just let us know and we'll post a link. Or you can join the WhatsApp group. The link is in the description. And then you can ask questions, come in contact with us, give us a call or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're here at your service.
Its understanding is impeccable, but the League for 10K that we are having this website, the Zoom call, and creating a website for is the purpose of this League for 10K is to manifest all of the qualities that Prabhupada asked for, not as a society and not as a religion, but starting with the Shakti Vaishavatar of the holy name of Krishna, how to be, like Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, Bhava Sanghi, how to become a madman distributing the holy name of Krishna. That is ISKCON of the future, whether we like it or not.
Haribol.
In other words, if people want to understand why are you chanting Hare Krishna, there's millions of books out there written by Prabhupada. Read them. When you finish reading them, then you can also become like one of the Bahals chanting Hare Krishna like a madman.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So the whole goal is to enter the mood of Lord Chaitanya. Now, I was more familiar with Lord Chaitanya in terms of his more moderate behaviors and pastimes. But towards the end, when he was in Puri, which is where he leaped up into a different dimension and entered the body of Lord Jagannath in Puri, that was the madman. People imitated his behavior, but without even beginning to understand his mood or why he was behaving like that. So our job of the League for 10K is to translate Lord Chaitanya's mood, how to translate Lord Chaitanya's mood into the mood of the madman in such a way that ordinary men can take it up without becoming offensive or sahajis or imitators.
Jai. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I wanted to share some comments. Where is it? Oh no, the comments have been shared. All right, Mahaprabhu. Do you have any more questions, Mahaprabhu? Anything you were reading? And we got Aryan Singh Prabhu also here. Prabhu, if you want to say anything, feel free to unmute yourself and say whatever you like to say.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Particularly how he is going to enter in the mood of the madman.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Aryan Singh Prabhu, go ahead.
So, Prabhu, I had a question. What do you think about ISKCON groups who are following Ritvik, like Akshay Patra or ISKCON Bangalore or in ISKM, I guess? What about them? What is your take on them?
I couldn't understand that.
He's saying, Aryan
HKM,
Singh Prabhu is saying that
It's HKM, not ISKM. It's HKM, ISKCON Bangalore, Akshay Patra Foundation, and various other
There is
Ritvik groups
in
you want to talk about,
Singapore
right?
also, there is one ISKM.
So Narayan Prabhu, he has a question indirectly that are these organizations legitimate and we should follow them?
Ramachandra, can you translate, please?
okay, so Aryan Singh Prabhu is asking, there are some institutions in this world, like the devotees from Madhu Pandit and the devotees at ISKM and then Jaipur devotees, they're also following the process of the Ritvik system of initiation. Aryan Prabhu is asking, what do you think of them? Is that your question, Aryan Prabhu? What do you think of them and what else?
Yes, yes.
Well, the saying the whole Ritvik thing, July 9th letter and everything is a whole ripe topic for other discussion. But what essentially was happening is Srila Prabhupada knew that those 11 GBC who had divided the world into 11 zones were all there asking what should they do about initiation. He knew they wanted to become gurus. He knew they were not qualified to become gurus, as they themselves proved themselves to be not qualified over the next few years. Then Tamal came up with the term Ritvik. Tamal Krishna came up with the term Ritvik, which simply means a representative of the Acharya. And is Rupa here still?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, she took off. Okay, so the representative of the Acharya, essentially what we need to understand about Ritvik is that we don't need to use that term. What we do need to do is just give people want to join an ISKCON temple, they should take Diksha from the temple. The temple can offer Diksha the same way the temple can offer marriage or a Shraddha ceremony when a person dies, or a Anaprasana ceremony when the child is 4 months old. That could all be done by the temple, and the fire sacrifice conveys the conveys the karma to ISKCON. Now you might say, well, what is ISKCON? Prabhupada said, ISKCON is my body. And this is going to be more and more emphasized as the League for 10K continues. ISKCON is Prabhupada's body. Therefore, if you take initiation from a, Brahmin, twice-born person in ISKCON who has taken Diksha and taken the worship, taken the second initiation, and it's become, a pujari, or he's become practiced in doing weddings and stuff like that. He can also do unlimited initiations. And the karma of the person being initiated is transferred to the disciplic succession, not to the insufficient guru who sits there as a kanista adhikari, taking on karma until he cannot stuff anymore or choke any more karma down. Then he leaves the movement, or he falls down, or he becomes weak, or becomes useless. None of that anymore. Okay. Everyone can join. You don't have to use the word rific. But I agree that what Madhu Tanda is doing is largely excellent. And in Jaipur, the devotees that are doing ritvik, they don't have to call it ritvik. All they need to call it is ISKCON. And that you take initiation in ISKCON from a priest. And you can call him a ritvik, or you can call him a priest, you can call him whatever you want. Pujari, initiator, you can say whatever you like about it. But the main thing is that it is ISKCON, Prabhupada, in the form of ISKCON, that is initiating you, not. And the Ritviks, so-called Ritviks, like to take on guru-like prestige so that the people they initiate treat them like gurus. I don't know if that's universally true, but shouldn't be true at all. Once a person is initiated, has taken Diksha, he is under the rules of the four regulative principles, chanting his japa, going to class, worshiping the deity, all the things you do in an ISKCON temple. You don't need a guru to do that. All you need is to do it. And Prabhupada created all of that. So if you're doing it, it's being done. Prabhupada is providing you the ISKCON temple in which to practice Krishna consciousness. I'm sorry that was a little wordy, but does that explain the point, Prabhu?
So, Prabhu, that means those who are taking initiation, their spiritual master is Srila Prabhupada. Those who are taking
well, of course.
initiation.
Of course. You see, Srila Prabhupada is the last of the Sampradaya Acharyas. Why? Because we were having a conversation before we went on live today, Ramachandra Prabhu and myself and others. What does the successor guru in ISKCON, or anywhere else for that matter, offer the person? You're the right person to ask this question of Ramachandra. Can you ask him the question? You see what I'm saying? It's the question we were talking about. Okay. What does the initiating guru offer the disciple that he doesn't have by simply hearing the holy name of Krishna when he walks in the temple door?
All right. Aryan Prabhu, you heard that question. Narayan Prabhu asked you, what does the ISKCON so-called present gurus, which are 85 of them, give you that has already been given when you read Prabhupada's books or enter an ISKCON temple?
What do they get in exchange? What does the disciple get by being initiated? And what does the guru get by initiating the disciple?
Prabhu, according to my knowledge, what I get, so guru, takes a disciple. He promise. It's like a deal that he will take you to the back to Godhead. So that is a deal between guru and his disciple, and disciple is that he has to follow his guru as far as possible to
it's sort of basically a Hindu idea. Now, let me mention that Lord Chaitanya, by breaking open the stores of love of God, and has placed the holy name of Krishna right out there in the open, and he's the Yuga avatar, which means that all religion goes out the window in the presence of a Yuga avatar, assuming that Yuga avatar is actually God and not some imitator. But I think we could say Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna. It doesn't get more God than that. So let me ask you, Prabhu, if he takes that person back to Godhead, he's already going back to Godhead by hearing the holy name of Krishna once. If you hear the Hare Krishna mantra once, you're guaranteed to go back to Godhead, with or without a guru. So what does the guru, how can the guru take you back to Godhead, particularly in ISKCON where he's a Kanistha Adhikari on the neophyte level, and he's not going back to Godhead yet himself either? What does that guru have to offer a guy walking in off the street to say, you need a ISKCON guru, I'm an ISKCON guru, you need me? Ramachandra, can you sort of take it from there? Ramachandra? Ramachandra.
Yeah, I'm here. So yes, Aryan Singh Prabhu, you heard Narayan Prabhu. He said, what does that ISKCON guru give, which is not already available when you walk in an ISKCON temple? What is your understanding?
From hearing the holy name, that it's a Shakti avatar by himself. The holy name of Krishna is the liberation people want from their guru. So what does the guru have to offer more than going back to Godhead? That's already guaranteed by hearing the holy name once. What does the guru offer that is not already given by hearing the holy name?
Prabhu, I don't know about the guru which ISKCON is recently having. I don't want to go into that because I have no correct understanding about them. But what I have like Prabhupada has a guru plant the seed of devotion to a person, right? So that is the role of guru. Without guru, like we say in the Darshanarti, we sing, right? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Ikha. And only because of Guru we can go back to Godhead. So that was my understanding. And chanting the holy name purely is more essential. Yes, that is the fact that just by chanting the holy name we'll be liberated. But we can't, we are like servant of the servant of the servant, right? So Prabhu, from that understanding, I understand without Prabhupada we can't go back to Godhead. We can't go.
Not without Prabhupada, because he is the mouthpiece for the sound vibration of Lord Chaitanya. But people don't even chant like Prabhupada anymore. They chant like their guru chants, which is not going to guarantee them anything. The critical question is, if the holy name is, Prabhupada says clearly, and we can accept it or reject it, that's our choice. But Prabhupada clearly says, if you hear the holy name of Krishna once, you're going to go back to Godhead. As opposed to not hearing the Hare Krishna mantra once, and maybe staying in the material world for hundreds of millions of more births. That's the choice. In Kali Yuga, we are being railroaded into a corral of people that are going back to Godhead. You say, well, what do you mean? Immediately? In 10 minutes? At the end of this lifetime? That doesn't matter. if you are going back to Godhead, the minute you hear the holy name, our question, Ramachandra Prabhu and myself, question is, what does the Guru give you that is beyond the end result of spiritual practice, religion, and endeavor? Everybody takes up a Guru to go back to Godhead. But if you hear the holy name of Krishna once, according to Prabhupada, you don't have to accept, but according to Prabhupada, you hear the holy name of Krishna once, you're going back to Godhead. So what does the Guru have to offer, the ISKCON Kanistha Guru have to offer, or any Guru anywhere, Hindu Guru, what does the Guru have to offer that has not already been accomplished at the beginning? That's the question. And now, what is your answer?
Prabhu, the question which you asked, that what a guru offers in ISKCON or those who are in Hindu, okay, and you are saying Prabhupada. So Prabhu, I don't think so I will be able to give a perfect answer to this, because please, you only give the answer, Prabhu.
Because what?
He said
I can't.
he said he cannot give an answer. Only you answer. So try to think, what are you getting? You go to an ISKCON temple, you see everyone is saying that you need a guru, but what will the guru tell you? Will the guru tell you something that Prabhupada has not told you?
Or give you something that you don't already have?
Yes, or give you something which you already not have. You have the books, you know what you need to do, how to offer the food, how you should mold your life. Everything is there. So what are they going to give you?
Prabhu, I have never associated with ISKCON gurus till now, so I'm not sure. We got everything from Prabhupada. Yes, that is the fact, and we have to just follow it as it is. That is only my understanding, and that we are doing. But at the same time, we need sadhu sangha, like here we are discussing.
Why does a person have to be a guru to do that? Can't he simply be your senior godbrother?
Yes, exactly, Prabhu. He can be.
He doesn't have to be a guru. Now, look at the little detail, the complication. When you go to an ISKCON guru, he's a Kanistha, which means, except for knowing more shlokas than you do, you may not know any shlokas, but he may know a lot of shlokas. He is a Kanistha, maybe up the food chain a little bit, but no different than you. So if he gives you diksha, he takes on your karma just as a man takes on the karma of his wife when he gets married. So if he takes on your karma, what happens to you when first he dies and then you die? Do you really want to take a birth with the guy that didn't even go back to Godhead himself? Are you assuming that the ISKCON guru is a liberated soul? If so, where is your assurance that he's a liberated soul? Practically none of them will claim to be liberated souls. And it's impossible to do it because the guru must be an uttama adhikari, which means descended from Krishna Loka. There's not a single person in our sampradaya who's not descended from Krishna Loka.
So Aryan Singh Prabhu was saying that he hasn't had any association with the ISKCON gurus, but he has had association with, I guess, Prabhupada's books and this Zoom meeting. So,
really?
Yeah.
But what about other gurus, Hindu gurus, Buddhist gurus, Sikh gurus?
Prabhu, I was actually lucky enough that the first ever book, a spiritual book, which I read was Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I had no conception of
it's
any
marvelous.
guru or
Very
anything.
intelligent, extremely intelligent. Did you belong to, or do you belong to other religious practice besides Krishna consciousness?
No, Prabhu. I shared before also, in our family, religion, like Hindu, it's just a ritualistic activity. No, any, background of it, no knowledge about that, no knowledge of moksha or anything. I was
So
a more,
was your family all atheists?
Prabhu, we can't say atheist, neither we can say even a devotee also. We can say karmi, most probably. Like
Karmi, yeah,
they,
that's good. Everyone is a karmi. Even religious people are karmis. But the thing is, did your family go to any temple or church?
yeah,
Were they
like
Catholics? Or your name indicates, were they Sikhs?
no, I am actually from Rajput background. You might have heard the Kshatriya
Aha.
of it. Yeah, so
So you're
that's
from the Kshatriyas. You're from the Kshatriyas.
yes, Prabhu. So-called Kshatriyas. Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice.
So that's Prabhu. I was lucky enough to get associate with Prabhupada books. Not I was lucky enough, and I was lucky enough to also get association of some devotees and able to practice Krishna consciousness. And I am able to chant 16 rounds and trying to improve that. Trying to even improve my relationship with Prabhupada. Trying to understand what he actually wants for him. How can I fulfill his mission? So that is now my understanding basically. And yes, Prabhu.
What is not your understanding?
No, he's
If you
trying
go to an
to.
ISKCON temple, they will ask you, do you want to take initiation from the local guru? And what would you say? And then what can you say? We're speaking statements like, what can the guru offer that is not already offered in the holy name? This is complete reverse of religion. If you join a religion, Catholic, Jewish, Christian, or any other religion on earth, Buddhist, you have to say, I joined this religion in order to become liberated. I want to become a liberated soul. I want to go back to Godhead. I want to be Krishna conscious. But if you get that by simply hearing the holy name once, there's more to it than that. You might say, well, what does that mean? In 10 minutes, I'm going to be in Krishna Loka, or at the end of my lifetime, will I die and go to Krishna Loka? That's a different topic. It's an important topic, but it is not the cause and effect topic. The process that we're in starts with hearing the holy name from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord. Now, if you want to hear from the lips of a pure devotee of the Lord, you're going to have a hard time finding an ISKCON guru who's able to chant anything except very garbagey kirtans. They don't chant ecstatic kirtan. They don't chant like Prabhupada. They don't chant the same melodies as Prabhupada, even though he's their guru. So I don't know what they think they're doing, but whatever they think they're doing, they're essentially becoming an offshoot of Prabhupada, and they cannot give you something that they do not themselves have. The Prabhupada could give you pure, unalloyed love of God because he's an Uttama Adhikari. He's fixed in his rasa with Krishna and Krishna Loka. What's the difficulty for Prabhupada giving you pure, unalloyed love of God? But these materialistic gurus in ISKCON are thinking like shopkeepers. My dad had a shop called ISKCON. Now I inherited the shop from my dad, so I'm the new shopkeeper. That's not the way it works. If you're going to be in ISKCON as a shopkeeper, you better keep it in the name of your father, not saying he's dead and gone. Now I'm the shopkeeper. And when I'm dead and gone, I'll have others. They will be shopkeepers after me. That's not what it is. We're not here to keep shop. We're not bloody. Why did I spend so much time with Prabhupada if I didn't want to become a guru? They can think like that. But the fact is, when did they even become a disciple? All they became was helpful to Prabhupada in opening temples, printing books, chanting in the street. When did they take on the role of delivering the fallen souls? Yeah, Ramachandra, it looks like you have something there, right?
All right, so this is something that a former guru posted. I asked him this question. I asked him about his realization, or he says here that Ronald Singh, I was an ISKCON guru and initiated 20 devotees. However,
what's his name? What's his name? Is that Ananda Swarup?
Yes, Ananda Swarup,
Okay.
yes.
If
He
so,
says, yeah, so he makes a very potent statement here, which, you know, resonates with what we're doing here and what we are saying. So he's saying, Ronald Singh, I was an ISKCON guru and initiated 20 devotees. However, I was unable to bring them to the transcendental platform. Why? Because I myself had not reached the supreme destination, nor did Srila Prabhupada ever directly order me to become a guru. Thus, I considered my guruship a failure. That doesn't mean I'm not still progressing. Prabhupada corrected me and continues to guide me. However, perfection will be achieved by me when Prabhupada says so, not me subjectively or anyone else.
That's a beautiful statement.
So I guess this person was a voted in ISKCON guru and he initiated 20 devotees, and he figured that out, that he was not qualified to take them to the supreme destination because he himself was not at the destination himself.
So what happened to his initiates?
So that's my next question I wanted to ask him. So that's I will ask him that.
Yeah, because you say by giving Diksha, you took on their karma, then you renounced the guruship quite wisely. I would say the way he taught, he's actually more advanced than most of the ISKCON gurus, because I don't see any political comment there, no organizational comment. I see he says he's being directed, guided by Prabhupada.
That's totally correct. Exactly, Prabhu. Your point blank on top.
That doesn't mean I'm not still progressing.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, exactly. So that and Paramatma are guiding him correctly, and he could not become guru because he realized he could not make the disciple on the same level as Prabhupada.
Yes.
Nor could he be on the same level as Prabhupada.
Yes. So that is so some of these people are waking up. They are there who, you know, are sharing the same realizations and understandings as we, the League for 10K, have discussed and discussed over and over.
But you see, you do need to ask him what happened to the karma of the people that you initiated. You took it on when you gave Diksha. Were you able to transfer all of their karma, as Prabhupada did, as at Uttamadhikari? Were you able to transfer all of their karma to Krishna in Krishna Loka?
Right. Yes. I'll ask him that question next time.
Yeah, that's good. I'll be very eager to hear the answer too. Because this is what they need to face. It's not just being a priest, like a Catholic priest. Granted, the vast majority of ISKCON devotees were formerly Catholics. But that's because the ISKCON GBC made ISKCON into a thing that resembled the Catholic Church. Top down, not bottom up.
Right, Jai. Anyways, we got about 15 minutes, so let's give it up to the devotees here if they want to express any questions, doubts, realizations, or whatever they like.
Did we fully answer? Well, he didn't really, the gentleman online didn't really ask a question. He made very beautiful comments.
Yes.
Was he satisfied, or do we know?
Well, he can post. Well, he can post his satisfaction by a comment.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, then he should join us online. And we'll be gentle with him.
All right. Aryan Singh Prabhu, do you have any further questions? We got about 8 minutes. We wrap it up in about 8 minutes. All right.
No
If not,
further
then
question, Prabhu. Just was asking that do you all devotees are planning to come to India someday, to Vrindavan or to the holy place back, so we can associate here also?
Ramachandra, I missed what he said.
oh, Aryan
We
Prabhu
would,
said.
we would
Aryan
love to.
Aryan Prabhu said if we're planning to come to India or Vrindavan anytime soon.
Aryan Prabhu, I'm already in India waiting for you. Dude, really, you never come, no? I
We
go every
are
month.
in Vrindavan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't we in Vrindavan right now?
Vrindavan Zoom. The Supreme Personality of Zoom.
Vrij.
Well, no, it's Vrindavan is where your heart is, or somewhere else. If you want to be in a slaughterhouse, that's where your heart is. Why choose slaughterhouse when you can choose Vrindavan? Or in Vrindavan, why not? But could I ask, where is Mr. Singh? Where does he live?
Delhi, Prabhu. Delhi. I said Noida, near Delhi. There is Noida, so there I live.
You're in New Delhi?
Yes, yes.
Acha. Yeah, my brother lived in Punjabi Bagh. Have you been to Vrindavan yourself?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Even planning to go this December.
That's wonderful.
All right.
So,
Okay.
so you're quite welcome to always participate with us. And try to chant Hare Krishna. Do you chant on beads? If you do
He's
16
chanting.
rounds.
He's chanting, he said. 16 rounds.
What?
He's chanting 16
16
rounds.
no?
Jai.
Good.
That's quality chanting, Haribo. I'm facing problems in that. So
Does he live?
I've been trying
Does he
quality
live with
chanting.
his family? Does he live with his family or by
Yes.
himself?
Yes, with family.
Acha. And are they interested also in Krishna consciousness?
Somewhat they are taking it up. Father, I give him prasadam. I give my father prasadam, and my mother is also chanting 2 rounds.
Haribol.
And
It's a big tricky question which Prabhu has
Good.
asked, no?
Continue to
And
help them, because that'll make your life easier and it'll make their lives sublime.
Jai.
Jai Prabhupada. Jai.
The beautiful thing about chanting Hare Krishna, all we need to do is to take the madness of chanting and make everyone as mad as we become madly chanting, and others can become mad chanting also. That is the mission of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. He took us away from the Sahajya chanting. Sahajya means, imitation, people pretending, people being fakes. And yet, you see, the people that are all fake, they were coming down from Lord Nityananda. So you can see the whole line could become destroyed. I haven't said a word. Mohit Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare
Why
Krishna.
you're
Jai.
not said anything? We're getting frightened.
Prabhu, I'm a bit sick today, so having stomach issue. So that's why.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yes, and I thank you very much for liking that those memories of Prabhupada.
Sure. Hari Hari Bol, Prabhu. That was transcendental for me.
I've done about
I'm very
at least
blessed to have.
20 or 30 more of them too.
Please send it to us. I'm very blessed to have your association, right? Maybe some great karmas I've done previous life. So
But I went and listened to those narratives myself after you posted them, and I realized that everything I was saying was I was bathing in the glow of my association with Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
So we can do that. You can do that too. It's not that, oh, I didn't get to see Prabhupada. Prabhupada is everywhere. You can become bathed in that pleasure when you agree with Prabhupada. Whoever agrees with Prabhupada in reality will become in that pleasure also.
Yes, exactly, bro. Yeah.
Because you can see
Hari
everything
Bol,
I said as a neophyte, really raw neophyte, was based on my agreeing with Prabhupada, even though not really understanding what I was agreeing to. But I agreed. You could feel it, and you could sense that I was agreeing. So if you agree, that will be the same as I had. No difference. You don't have to think, oh, I was lucky and that is not so lucky.
All right. Okay, we got 2 minutes.
Jai. Hare Krishna,
Is there any
Mahaprabhu.
more?
Jai.
Okay. So Mahit, enlighten us.
Sorry, bro.
He said, Mohit, enlighten us.
No enlightenment from.
Oh, why
He's a
not?
sick soul now. He's a material soul now, sick.
Okay.
Material body is
Mahaprabhu
like
can enlighten us. Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu is transcendental soul. So yeah, he can.
I just want Mohit to feel better in the next couple days.
Oh,
Sure.
Everything's gonna be fine.
He's not feeling well.
there's some stomach problems, he said.
Stomach issue. Yeah.
Some intestinal issues.